everyone, welcome. I'm Jaka and this class is called Quick Rinse. We'll be moving slowly and gently through more or less a full body flow to just rinse off the day or the week or the morning or whatever. This class, all you will need is yourself and a mat. A couple blocks will be handy to have, but they're not necessary. They just will make the class a little bit more gentle. Also, it might be nice to have a rolled up or a folded up blanket or a towel to put under your seat, or if you have a meditation cushion, or I guess like one of those little foam chip blocks. That's always nice to put under your seat, especially for seated postures or meditation. So go ahead and gather up whatever props and things you need. A bolster might be nice for this class too, but again, not necessary. So yes, gather what you need, set yourself up, and meet me back here. We'll get started. Okay, let's begin in some kind of comfortable position, whether that is cross-legged or on your knees or legs straight or reclined. We're just going to take a few moments to settle in here to our space and center ourselves. So hands can be on your knees or your ankles, whatever feels good. But if you are seated, try to sit up nice and tall, so anchoring through the sitting bones and growing the spine up like a vine. So the crown of the head is tall, spacious. Inhaling, the belly softens and expands. Exhaling, the belly pulls in just gently towards the spine. See if you can extend the inhale a little longer, a little deeper, expanding through the ribs, through the back of the lungs, through the upper cavity of the chest, and even into the throat. And then as you exhale, see if your shoulders will soften just a little bit more. Just a couple more breaths here together, and I want you to invite the word forgiveness into your psyche, into your consciousness, without attaching any stories or any people or any assumed feelings. Just invite the word in and observe what happens in your body. Forgiveness. Still breathing long and fluid through the nose. Okay, now come into a cross-legged position, one shin in front of the other. We're going to do both, so it doesn't matter which one you put in front first. Try to get your feet under your knees. And so if you don't already have the meditation cushion or the blanket or something under your seat, just at your tailbone, just to give your pelvis a little forward tilt, you might want to do that now because we're going to be here for a few breaths in this cross-legged forward fold to open up the hips a little bit. So once you're in your cross-legged position, hands to knees, you're going to pull on your knees. Press your tailbone down and back as you reach the back of your heart forward and up. Gaze up slightly, shoulders move down, and keep this action and cast your heart forward, forward, forward beyond your shins until you feel that your body is not going to lower anymore. Then you can release your knees, walk your hands out in front of you. Here's where you may want a block or a bolster or both so that you could rest your head. Stack your blocks however high works for you and rest your forehead on the blocks. That's one option. Another option is to come onto your elbows, take prayer hands and rest your third eye space on your thumbs. Another option would be to stack your fists if you have that space available to you. And another option is just to relax your arms, let your chin roll into your chest, and this will create more length through your entire spine. Choose whatever option is best for you. We're going to stay here for another few nice long breaths. imagine that you are just building a container to hold space for yourself here. As you allow the hips to gently soften, the face will mirror that softness. And come back to the word forgiveness without attaching any stories, any labels, any people. Just bring that word into your consciousness. Take one more big breath in here. Through the nose, pull the tailbone down, reach the heart a little bit more forward, and then exhale, sink into maybe that millimeter, maybe it was a 1/2 millimeter extra space you got. Drop the forehead. Gently walk your hands up, come back to your seat. Bring the hands behind the hips just so you can extend the legs out in front of you. Give them a quick little jiggle, a quick little shake, and then recross the legs, the opposite shin in front this time, okay? And then feet towards the knees so that you kind of have a square. And then hands to knees, press the tailbone or the sitting bones down and back. Reach the back of the heart forward and up. Pull on the knees to traction even more length out of the spine. Gaze up slightly. And then exhale. Keep pulling on your knees to cast your heart forward to the space beyond your shins. And when you can't fold anymore, you'll feel that. And then you can walk your hands out in front of you. Find your block stack if you need it, or your bolster, or just let your chin roll into your chest. Maybe take your prayer hands. Feel some engagement still as much as we're really softening into this posture through the outer edges of the feet. And then the hips pulled down and back so that you're really anchored and allowing your spine to lengthen and strengthen a little bit rather than just fold in on itself. Deep breathing through the nose. Soft forehead. Soft jaw. Come back to the word forgiveness. Assuming that this invokes a feeling of non-resistance and a lightness and a softness in you. And I should have said it earlier, if that word didn't bring those feelings into your body, then forget about the word forgiveness. Embody the word soft or light or airy or non-resistant. Press a little bit more down through your feet. Pull your tailbone towards the earth and tug the crown of your head away from the tailbone. Take one more breath in here. And as you exhale, drip your face, your forehead, your heart earthwards. Walk yourself up to a seat. Uncross your legs, hands behind you for support. Straighten your legs. Give them just a little wiggle and a little jiggle. And then recross your legs, only for a moment. We're going to roll over the shins and come into a table pose. Just keep your blocks at the top of your mat for now. We'll use them in a minute or so. So from table pose, keep your toes tucked. And then we're going to glide the hips back towards the heels, but resist that with your heart tugging forward, and you can lower your forehead to the ground. Now as you inhale, pull your hands towards your knees, but tuck your tailbone and spread your shoulder blades as you round yourself forward to cat pose. Maybe you can shift weight a little bit beyond your wrists, and then as you exhale, tilt the tailbone up, reach the heart forward and up as you glide your hips back. This is the exhale. Again, inhale, wave yourself forward, pull hands and knees towards each other, rounding through the spine, back of the heart lifting. Exhale, Tilt the tailbone up, glide hips back, but resist. Your heart pulls forward with the gaze. Lower the forehead. One more. Inhale, wave forward, rounded cat spine, tailbone tucked, shift weight over the wrists, and exhale, tilt the pelvis, glide the hips back, forehead kisses the earth. Inhale, wave forward one more time, table pose. This time really drive through the thumbs and the index fingers. Toes are tucked under. Squeeze inner elbows towards one another and the inner thighs, and then glide the hips up. Press down and forward through the palms, downward facing dog. Lower one heel first and then the other. Alternate a time or two, letting the back of the legs adjust. And then eventually maybe both heels will sink towards the earth. The low belly pulls in. The knees can stay bent here. That's totally fine. We're looking for length through the spine. Shoot the tips of the ears towards the thumbs and gaze towards the space between your feet. Full breath in. Full breath out through the mouth this time. One more breath in. And as you exhale, walk your feet up between your hands into a forward fold. Knees can be generously bent. You can grab your blocks here and just place them in front of your feet. Drape your torso over your thighs. Let your head drip towards the earth between the blocks or just in front of your feet. Maybe straighten one leg while the opposite leg bends, and then switch. Good. And then slowly roll yourself all the way up to standing, one vertebrae at a time, or imagining that's so. Last thing to lift is your gaze, and at the top of the inhale, reach the arms all the way up. Palms kiss at the top. Look up at the sky, maybe. Hips press forward. Exhale, palms glide down the forehead, chin to heart space. Now from here, we're going to cross the right foot in front of the left. You'll have to bend your knees slightly probably to make this accessible. Now we're going to inhale, reach the arms up nice and high again. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Exhale, fold forward. You can use prayer hands, swan dive, reach out in front of you, whatever. Find your blocks or fingertips to the earth. Inhale, lift up and lengthen. Extend space from the crown out the tail. Exhale, fold, and we'll step the left foot to the back of the mat, lower the left knee down, untuck the left toes. You can straighten your front foot. It should be kind of right in the center of your chest. Ground down through the top of your back foot, through your front big toe and heel. Pull the feet towards one another. Inhale, arms reach up. Low lunge. Think space all along the side bodies, the back waist, the front of the left hip. Exhale, palms come down, find your blocks or fingertips to the mat. Back toes tuck, step forward, left foot crosses behind the right. Fold in. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Strong legs, arms reach out and up, palms touch, look up. Exhale, palms to heart center. Inhale, arms reach up. Stretch, exhale, fold, find your blocks or fingertips to the mat. If you're using blocks, grab your blocks. We're going to turn to the long edge of the mat, pivot on your feet, open up your right foot so you have about one leg length between your feet. Keep your blocks out in front of you. Bring your hands to your hips, knees bend slightly, inner legs pull towards one another. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Turn your toes out. Heels in, setting up for horse stance or goddess pose. Inhale, reach the arms out and up. Palms will touch. Exhale, sink the hips, drop the palms to heart center, bend the knees, goddess. Again, inhale, reach the hands out and up, straighten the legs. Inhale. Exhale, palms to heart center, bend the knees, sink the hips, press the hips forward with the strength of the glutes. One more inhale, bring peace all around you, reach it up to the heavens, straighten the legs, palms touch, and then pull that grace down into your heart space. Exhale, bend knees. Inhale, arms out, legs straighten, reach up. Exhale, fold, turn the toes to point to the long edge of the mat. Find your blocks. Now you can use your blocks for this if you need to. If you don't need the blocks, I'm not going to use them. Bring both hands right underneath your face. Come onto fingertips. Anchor down through the outer edges of the feet, but keep drawing energy up the inner lines of the legs. Press into right fingertips. Both arms are straight. Pull the hips back and inhale. Reach the left arm up to the sky, turning, rotating from the waist. Take another inhale here. Maybe reach your left fingertips a little bit higher. And exhale, sweep the left hand down. Replace the right hand with the left. Reaffirm the connection between your feet and your legs. Inhale, hips back. Right arm opens up to the sky like a wing. Gaze to your right thumb. If that hurts your neck at all, look down to your left thumb. Take another inhale here. Pull the hips back. Reach the right fingertips higher. And exhale, sweep the right hand down. Fold, drop your head to the space between your feet. Now inhale, lift and lengthen. Grab your blocks if you're using them. Turn to the back of the mat. Pivot your right toes to face the back of the mat. And then step the left foot in front of the right foot. Fold in. Inhale, ground through the feet. Come up all the way to standing. Arms reach up and away. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms reach up, skyward, palms touch. Exhale, fold, bow over your legs. Find the blocks if you're using them, or fingertips to the mat. Right foot steps to the back of the mat. Right knee drops. Right toes untuck. Pull feet towards one another. Straighten out your left foot if you need to. Inhale, arms come up high overhead, palms touch maybe, or just palms face each other. Ground down through the back leg. Inhale, reach a little bit higher, stretch back slightly if it's okay. Think space all around the kidneys, the ribs, the armpits. Exhale, hands to blocks or hands to mat. Back toes tuck, step forward, right foot behind the left, fold. Inhale, come up to standing, arms reach up and away. Exhale, palms to heart center. Inhale, reach up, root down. Exhale, fold. Find your blocks and pivot to the long edge of the mat. Open up the right foot one leg length apart from the left. Blocks come in front of the feet somewhere. Take an inhale, lift and lengthen. And then hands come to hips. Bend the knees slightly. Exhale, come to standing. Wide legs. Heels in, toes out. This time, we will bring the palms to heart center. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, float the arms out to the side, bend the knees, sink the hips. Inhale, palms to heart center, making a big, peaceful energy bubble. Reach the arms up, straighten the knees. Exhale, bend the knees, sink the hips, surround yourself with peaceful energy as you open the arms. One more. Inhale, draw energy up from the earth, reach it up to the sky, and shower yourself with it. Open the arms, open the hands, sink the hips, bend the knees. Inhale, palms come up through center, reach up high, pivot on the feet, toes point to the long edge of the mat. Exhale, fold, find your blocks. Or fingertips to the earth. Wherever you're at, either walk the blocks out as far away from you as you can, or just do that with your fingertips. From here, the right arm reaches, or the right hand reaches for the left ankle, or shin, or calf, whatever you can grab hold of, and then pull on that to twist yourself so that you can glance under your left armpit. Keep tugging the hips back. Keep anchoring through the outer edges of the feet and pulling energy up the inner lines of the legs. The low belly pulls in so you find a little bit more space in the low back. One more inhale here. And exhale, unravel yourself. Right fingertips come to meet the left and we'll switch right away. Left hand crosses the body, reaching for the right ankle or shin. And then tug the hips back, rotate from the waist, gazing under your right armpit. Full breath in here. And exhale, release the left fingertips, meet the right. Walk yourself back, grab your blocks if you're using them. And then crawl your hands and your blocks towards the top of the mat, pivot on your right foot, and step the left foot up to meet the right. Forward fold, ankles are not crossed. Inhale, come all the way up to standing, arms reach out and up. Exhale, palms to heart center. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold. This time we're going to step the left foot to the back of the mat. Stay on your blocks here or on fingertips. Wiggle your right foot over towards the outer right edge of the mat. And now we're going to use the left block about 12 inches away from the inner right ankle. Hand comes to the block or fingertips to the earth. And we'll circle the right arm up to the sky. So we go forwards and then rotate the chest open for revolved side angle. Right hip scoops underneath you. Left heel presses back. Right hip pulls back. Left hip pulls forward. And then as you exhale here, draw your right hand back as you pull your right hip back and circle the right hand down and forward to find your other block and drape your torso over your thigh pyramid. We'll try and do these actions in one breath each. So inhale, bend the right knee, reach the right arm forward and up, revolved side angle. Exhale, straighten the right knee, pull the right hip back, sweep the right hand down and fold. One more time. Inhale, bend the right knee, right arm comes forward, and then rotate, open up to the right. Exhale, right hip pulls back, right hand lowers, pyramid. Stay here for an inhale. Maybe lift up and lengthen. Get a bit more space out of the low back. Engage through the front of the right quad. Exhale, drape your torso over the right leg. Inhale, bend into the right knee. Walk the right hand, your right block, over to the left. And keep walking. We'll turn both feet to face the long edge of the mat. Hands are under the shoulders on blocks or not. Bend the knees, hands come to the waist. Inhale, lift all the way up to stand. From here, we'll interlace the fingers behind the back. Press the thumb and index knuckle into the sacrum. Squeeze the elbows towards each other. Inner legs pull towards each other. Drive through the outer edges of the feet. The legs are engaged here. Now the glutes press forward. Maybe you reach your hands away from your sacrum and lean back slightly, opening through the collarbones and the upper chest. And then as you exhale, we dive forward. Hands are still interlaced. Drip the heart center towards the space between the feet. Take another breath in. Reach your hands farther away from the back of your head. And exhale, release your hands to the ground. Relax. Inhale, lift up and lengthen. Find your blocks. Walk yourself towards the back of the mat. Left toes turn to face the back of the mat. One block on either side of your left foot. Wiggle your left foot over towards the outer edge of the mat. Keep your right hand rooted on the block. You're about 12 inches away from the inner left ankle. We're going to reach the left arm forward and then up, twisting to the left, opening into revolved side angle. Right hip pulls forward, left hip pulls back, left butt cheek scoops underneath you. Gaze towards your left thumb. If that bugs your neck at all, look down towards your right thumb. And then from here, we're on the right tippy toes. We circle the left hand back and down as we straighten the left leg. Find your block, pyramid, chest to thigh. Inhale, bend into the left knee, reach left arm forward, circle it up, rotate open, twisting left. Exhale, left arm back, left leg straight, circle the hand down, drape your torso, pyramid. One more like that. Inhale, left knee bends, left arm reaches forward, and then rotate open and up. Exhale, Left hip back, left arm down and forward. Hold here for a moment. Pull your feet towards one another. Active through the front of the left thigh. Chest is trying to make contact with the thigh. Whether it does or not doesn't matter. Take another inhale breath. Maybe lift up and lengthen a little bit. And then exhale, fold. Bend into the left knee. Step forward with the right foot to meet the left. Blocks come in front of you. Inhale, bend the knees. Reach arms up. Stand up. Gaze up. Exhale, palms to heart space. Inhale, reach up, stretch. Exhale, bow over the legs, fold. Step the left foot back. Low lunge position, and then turn to face the long edge of the mat. All toes pivot to point towards the long edge of the mat. Blocks are out in front of you. Knees bend slightly. Drive through the outer edges of the feet. Hips pulled back. Hands to waist. Inhale, come up to standing. We'll do the same thing that we did on the other side. Interlace the fingers behind the back. Opposite thumb on top this time, so it's the way that's going to feel more awkward. Press the hands into the sacrum. Squeeze the elbows towards one another. Engage through the inner legs. Strong glutes, press hips forward. Maybe you pull the hands away from the sacrum, open up through the chest. Gaze up, press forward. Drop back as far as feels comfortable, as far as your body is in control. And then exhale, dive the chest forward. Again, casting your heart out long and forward before you sink into depth. And now again, pull energy up from the inner lines of the legs, get a little bit more length. Maybe reach your hands a little bit farther away from the back of your skull. And exhale gently, as you can. Release your hands to the floor and relax the shoulders and the chest. Inhale, lift up and lengthen. Find your blocks. Walk yourself towards the top of the mat. Pivot on your toes. Step right foot to meet the left in your forward fold. Inhale, bend through the knees, come up to stand, arms reach high. Exhale, hands to heart center. Stay here for a breath, close your eyes, come back to your softness, come back to your intention of embodying softness or forgiveness or light. Inhale, reach your arms up high. Gaze to thumbs maybe. Exhale, fold forward, find your blocks. Lower one knee and then the other. Cross your ankles. Come to your seat and then stretch both legs out in front of you. Bring your left foot to your right inner thigh for Janu Shirsasana. The hips should be square here, so adjust yourself accordingly. Press into fingertips on either side of your hips. Root through your right heel and flex the right toes back towards you, so your right leg is active. Whenever we're stretching one side of the body, we want the opposite side to be active. That's kind of a good rule of thumb. All right, from here we press into fingertips. We lift the chest high so we get as much length out of the spine and the torso as we can. And then again, casting the heart forward rather than trying to get the head to the knee, even though that's what the name of the pose means. Let's try to get our chest or our belly glued to the thigh and not worry so much about the head. So if you're here, rather than yanking on the foot, just let your hands be relaxed. And then if you're up here again, you can use your blocks. You can stack them however high you need to feel a little bit of softness, or put one in between your head and your shin. Whatever works for you. We'll stay here for 3 breaths. Inhaling through the nose. Now, even though there's probably most of the sensation happening in the back of the right leg or the low back, check in with your jaw. See what's happening in there. Is it embodying softness? Check in with your forehead. Check in with your hands, your palms. Take one more breath in. One more exhale, maybe sigh out of the mouth. And then slowly walk yourself up to your seat. Bring the left hand behind your left hips, and then we're going to sweep the right arm forward and roll over the left shin into graceful pose. So you can stay on left fingertips. You can even bring a block back there if that feels more stable for you. So we roll, we sweep the right hand over to the left and then up over the right ear. Strong glutes, press the pelvis forward, the right foot plants, and then spiral the left tricep back so the left elbow crease presses away from you. Take an inhale breath here. Pull up from the outer edge of the right foot and out the right fingertips. Good, and then exhale, slowly come back the same way you came in. That one's nice. Stretch your left leg out straight. Right foot pulls in towards the left inner thigh. Wiggle the hips around. Try and get them square to the top of the mat. Anchor down through the left heel. Flex the left toes towards you. Press down through the back of the left knee so that if you touch your left leg, those muscles are active and engaged. All right, and then the outer right knee presses down at the same time. Fingertips frame the hips, press into fingertips. Get as much space through all the vertebrae in the spine as you can. And then exhale, cast the heart forward. Walk the hands out. Stack your blocks if you'd like to as a forehead rest. Gently pull the left hip back just slightly as the right hip pulls forward. The body is so conservational, so it'll always try and find the easiest route to be still in, and that usually means kind of coming out of alignment in the posture. So gentle tug of the left hip back, lower the forehead to wherever it's going to go, and we'll find 3 long yogi breaths here. Pull the inhale in through both nostrils equally. And let the exhale go through both nostrils equally. And again, as much as the back of the left leg is probably calling your attention, check in with other parts of the body. The jaw is often a location where energy likes to sort of run to when we're releasing it from another area of the body. And then the forehead, and even the crown of the head. One more full breath in. And the biggest, longest exhale yet. I can always find so much more depth on those really good exhales. Begin to walk your hands up. Come to a seat. Right hand sweeps around and plants behind the right hip, preparing to roll over onto the right shin for a graceful pose, kind of like a modified side plank almost. The left arm sweeps over, up, and around, so we have left arm over the right ear. You can gaze towards your right thumb. Wrap the right tricep back so the right elbow crease presses forward, grounding down through the right shin, top of right foot, and left foot, which is flat now. We press the pelvis forward and then breathe space all along the entire left side body from left fingertips to left heel. Slow exhale in control to bring you back to your starting point. And then stretch the right leg out in front of you. Give your legs a little wiggle, a little jiggle, and then bend your knees. Roll onto your back. Bring your feet in towards your hips, and then lift your feet and straighten your legs up to the sky. Reach your arms up, wrists over shoulders, and then spread all of your toes. Press the big toe mounds together. Spread your fingertips really wide and reach up without letting your torso leave the mat. Glue yourself down, especially through your low back, but reach your fingers and your toes as far away from you as you can. Squeeze and lift, squeeze and lift, squeeze and lift, and then relax. Let your arms drop into the shoulder sockets. Let your legs drop into the hip sockets and hang out here for a breath. Just dead bugging it, letting all of the blood flow come back into your gut brain, into your heart space. This is a good thing. It's very nourishing. And then ever so slowly, lower your arms and lower your feet. And settle into whatever version of Shavasana is calling you. So maybe both legs just stretch out along the edges of the mat and your palms flop open outside of the hips. Maybe you bring one hand to the belly and one hand to your heart. Maybe you'd like to roll to one side or the other. Wherever you are, let's take one last big breath in together. Point through your toes, reach through the fingertips, stretch yourself as wide as you can. Take an inhale, a longer inhale through all of your pores, and then exhale, just sink like you're melting. Give yourself over to gravity as you expand like a sweet, sticky puddle into the earth. Without moving anything at all, take one more internal scan of your body. Check in with your feet. Feel both legs. Feel your belly, your abdomen, your ribs and the space between your ribs. Feel into the upper cavity of your chest, your collarbones, your shoulders. From your shoulders down to your wrists and out into all 10 fingertips. Feel both arms together. Feel the back of the neck and the throat, up into the jaw, the chin, the tongue, the soft palate of the mouth. Feel your bottom row of teeth and your top row of teeth. Feel both nostrils, inner and outer edges, the bridge of your nose and your cheekbones. Feel your temples, your brow bone, your eye sockets. Feel your forehead and your entire scalp all the way around to the back of your head. And then bring your awareness into the space between your ears. Feel the volume of space between your ears. Stay here, giving yourself permission to indulge in this stillness and this rest for another few minutes or longer if you'd like, if you can. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I hope you're feeling blissful, and I hope to see you again soon.